Welcome everyone to the Martian Tomato podcast. I am Marley or Mars Bars.
I am Brennan/Tomato.
And before we start, make sure to check out our Instagram, which will be Galactic Arrowverse Hub. I'll leave the link to our Instagram account in the description down below. Anyways, we'll before we we usually start off our podcast talking about this week's CW or this week's episodes, but since there's been quite a bit of a really interesting news that came out in the last couple of days, so first I want to talk about more news relating the Batwoman role. So, very established that the new character that's only named Ryan Wilder right now is going to be replaced. But new news here. There's more rumors saying that like Kate Kane will actually die at the start of the season, and then Ryan Wilder will take the place of Batwoman, which would be really interesting. And her motivations of becoming Batwoman would be actually Scarecrow being responsible for the death of her mom. So yeah, I mean that's like her main motivation to become Batwoman, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I would say so. I guess it makes sense in the direction they're going, but it's going to be weird because the end of season 1 is going to be like as we said in the last podcast. It's Bruce Wayne's supposed to come back, so now they revamping the story that that happens already, and then Batwoman dies that way, or does Scarecrow kill Batwoman, or whatever their plan is.
Well, I don't know. Like, obviously, we know that Alex is in. Like, Alex is getting Hush, who is disguised as Bruce Wayne, to infiltrate Wayne Tower and get some kryptonite. So, I mean, I imagine that's how Kate Kane dies. I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting to like. I'm not that like. It's very how do I put it? It's not a good look for the show, especially since it's only like we're going into their second season. Like the first season ended on a cliffhanger, but like now, like we're having like entire like main character replaced. The main Kate Kane being killed off, which is very that's like I don't know. It kind of
I
makes
don't
the
know
whole
either.
Paragon story, the Paragon of Courage, as well as the like her relationship with Supergirl, kind of makes all that pointless. I guess now I don't know. I'm just again, like I said, I would prefer like the best move for me was just to end the show, but like obviously we can't just end the show after the first season. They can work around it, but I don't know if this is the best way. I mean, uh, maybe there's other ways to work around this. I mean, so far it's just not looking good for the show, honestly. I mean, it's all interesting and whatnot. We never really had something like this happen before for DC shows.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's not a good look.
That's not a good look, but I don't know. Like, it's just gonna be tough. I've always said to myself, like, I can't judge something until I see it, but it'll be
Oh yeah,
weird
of course, yeah.
because it's gonna be super weird when we first see it that Kate Kane's gonna die, and there's just gonna be a new Batwoman. Like, the whole story's gonna be fucked. Now, the main villain is probably gonna be Scarecrow or something like that. Her wanting revenge on Scarecrow, but like it just changes the whole thing. So it's definitely going to be tough. So we'll have to
Yeah,
see.
and again, like I said, I don't know how they're gonna write in Ryan Wilder's character with the rest of the current cast
Yeah,
because like they're already established themselves with the character of Kate Kane. It's kind of weird to just all of a sudden bring in a new character and then force that character to start any type of relationships with already existing characters in this show.
if I had to guess, I feel like they're like after Kate Kane dies, they're going to be like looking throughout the city and see if there's like a person that's like her in some way, and then they find a girl or whatever, and then they go like. I wouldn't say like maybe like capture her and like try to convince her to become Batwoman or something like that.
Yeah. Do you think that Alice will die along with Kate?
Ooh,
Because like
that's.
it seems to be the main villain.
I think it has to.
It
I
seems to
think
be
it
the
has.
main villain is going to be Scarecrow next season because like he plays a huge part in the backstory of
Yeah,
Ryan Wilder.
I think she would have to die out, to be completely honest, because I don't know what else she would have to do really, or maybe she just leaves Gotham. Maybe
Oh,
something
yeah,
like that happens. I
because
feel like
her entire goal is to kill her sister, which I mean I guess that's gonna happen. So I get like she doesn't really have any other reason to stay in Gotham because she just wants to leave after that. She just wants to start a new life right after that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah,
So
the
yeah, it's just
narratives
weird.
at this point are kind of messed up. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
And you never
Speak.
know. Maybe the second season will be really good. We don't know. Like
Yeah,
I can't say anything yet about the show until it comes out, whenever it comes out, and like, I can't judge something because I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, so yeah, they're in a tough position right now. We'll just have to see how it goes.
yeah. Speaking of recasting and well, cast members and whatnot, Hartley Sawyer, who played the elongated man or Ralph Dibny, it has been fired from the Flash show for his past let's just say offensive tweets. And this was also another shock as well because I didn't know that they're gonna flat out like obviously like after seeing the tweets, I mean it's like yeah, like it's gonna change the perspective. Like I don't think like cast members around him are gonna be like really comfortable working with him and whatnot. So like
Yeah.
I don't want him to be like straight up fired. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to handle this, but like yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I understand where they're coming from, like because like obviously like cast members and crew members and whatnot, like they're gonna like there's going to be a lot of drama if Harley Sawyer stayed on the Flash. But at the same time, again, like I said, I just feel like that there's probably a better way to handle the situation. But regardless, since he's no longer on the Flash, I have a feeling that like, do you think that they're going to recast?
Feel
With
is he? I think they have to because he was getting along with what's that other girl's
Drew
name?
Darbon, yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna start up a
So
new, I guess like a new like subplot next season
yeah.
because Sue is now, I guess, on the run from Ava McCullough. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I guess Ralph really has to be the only person to really help her out. I don't know, like the chemistry I don't think it's gonna be there next season.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I just don't know how I feel about recasting though, because a recasting, I mean, they kind of have to. Like they're not
Yeah.
really given a choice, but like, do you want? Do you want like whoever is going to be recast as Ralph Dibny, if they are going to do that? Do you want them to stay as Ralph, or do you want them to just write the character off right after they finish right after they finish the Sue story?
It's kind of tough because like I don't know. Besides the side story stuff, I don't know how important he is. Most of the time, when the Flash fights someone, or at least last season, he wasn't really there as much. That makes sense. Well, I don't really know on that aspect, but when it comes to him being fired, I kind of disagree with it. But I get where they're coming from at the same time. Like I get that people might be different around him because of these tweets, but he did apologize for it. This is when he was before he was an actor, and he did apologize for it. So I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah, no, I just feel
Oh, in
like
that
there's like
aspect,
some other way. I have a feeling that there's some other way that this could have been handled. But other than that, I kind of understand where they're coming from. I mean, it's their show; they can do whatever they want. Um, But yeah, I mean, it sucks, honestly. Like it sucks
yeah,
to see this happen, um, especially since what's his face, Ralph Dibny. He's actually like one of
mm,
like a lot of people's favorite characters now, and it's kind of sad to
yeah.
see one of the best actors. Like honestly, Harley Sawyer,
He's a
he was
really good
one of the
actor.
best actors on that show. Like, I mean, sure, you
Yeah,
have the main three, which is Barry or Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin.
mm.
Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, and then obviously
Cisco and
Grant Gustin
Grant
plays
Gustin.
Barry.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
those are they're really good actors, but like Hartley Sawyer, I don't know. There's just something about him that just like I don't know. He seems genuine in his acting, if I can say that. I
yeah,
just don't feel the same type of gen. Sorry, I don't really feel that same type of genuineness from like the other actors. It kind of feels like
yeah,
I don't know, like the acting. I don't like. We don't want to talk about the acting for CW shows because I mean, like most for the most part, acting is kind of eh. Like
yeah,
it's a CW show. Like obviously, the acting's not really going to be on point. But like Ralph Dibny's like Hartley. Sorry, he seemed like the most genuine actor on set.
Yeah.
So
And I feel like when you
yeah.
said that it was a better way to handle it, I feel like if they came to him and be like, "Okay, maybe I know like you apologized before in the past, maybe apologize to like
Um.
the other people he works with or something like that."
Well, there were a couple people in the Arrowverse community that were suggesting that he should have just been like put like suspended, like the character just put in like timeout, and then like so like he wouldn't get
Yeah.
paid and whatnot, and then maybe he can come back at a later date, you know. So
Yeah, I kind of get that, but maybe I feel like maybe he should just apologize to the other people. He already did apologize, but I don't know if he would. I didn't know how the thing went. I don't know if they just went up to him and be like, "You're fired," or like try to talk it through, sort of thing. Like we don't really have
well,
that much
yeah, I
info
don't think
on
we're ever
it.
gonna get that type of information, but regardless, it'll be interesting to see who's the new Ralph Dibny, or if they ever
Yeah,
are gonna recast that character. I feel like they have to.
I feel like they
But for
have to
me,
too.
I think I just feel like that like once they recast him, finish up the Sue Dearborn story, and then like that's it. Like those two get married, and Sue Dearborn becomes Sue Dibney, and then they leave the show. That's like it's like I just it's not really gonna it's not really gonna have a good look. I mean, we already had like
Yeah,
2 full seasons of Ralph. No, wait, 3 full seasons now of Ralph Dibny, or Hartley sort of asked Ralph Dibny. So I mean, it's gonna be really hard to shake off the fact that well now we have a new actor playing a very beloved role now. I guess so. I'll not say
yeah,
beloved, but like a lot of people like really enjoy him as a character. So yeah, for me, just personally, I just like finish up whatever story they have left, and then just like end this character there. You know.
yeah. I feel like that's probably the best choice. We'll have to see. Maybe the next guy, if they do bring up the next guy or recast him, maybe he'll be better in some way, or maybe we'll keep him on longer. We don't know. Yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
just have to see. Like, I feel bad for him. He apologized, which I feel like is the best you can do. So I just feel like I feel like he tried his best to do whatever he could. So yeah,
Yeah. Anyways, now we're gonna get off from the more depressing stuff, and we'll talk about yesterday's episode of Supergirl. And let's just say
sure,
that
girl.
I was actually, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. I did like the backstory behind Wildcat, or Yolanda, I guess. I
Yeah,
did. What I actually liked a lot about this episode was the pacing, because I expected, because like when we got the montage of Yolanda running for president and whatnot,
yeah,
like before like she becomes like this like emotional wreck.
mhm,
Um, I was I was not really hoping, but I was kind of expecting that they're gonna like rush by it really fast, like have like
yeah,
unnecessary dialogue and all this unnecessary like type of like exposition and stuff like that. But they didn't really do that. They just it was very it was just like this like simple montage where like, oh, the happy kid at school and whatnot, they have like everything in the world
yeah,
and all that. It all comes crashing down in like later scenes, like half of the episode, and whatnot. And yeah, it sets the tone, because it was a really lighthearted montage where
yeah,
we saw her getting along with her family. She was like basically she was basically the school's favorite to win the student body president. And
yeah,
then and again, like I said, there was very little dialogue in that montage, which I found it to be
yeah,
great. They used imagery, they just really used tone imagery, yeah, that type of stuff, to really convey them like how her life was like before. And I like that. They're not really, forcing in dialogue and whatnot, because I feel like that probably would have ruined that entire montage. It got to its point and it was good, you know. And now, like
yeah,
obviously in the previous episodes, we saw her being bullied, getting called a slut, and that we get more of that in this episode because it's focused on her. And
yeah.
yeah, I just think it's really interesting. I did like the well, I didn't exactly like love it, but like I thought it was great. It got to its point, and yeah, I just like how the pacing worked in this episode.
Yeah, I agree with you, but this was probably, in my opinion, the worst episode so far. I get that. I agree with you on all the points that you said. I agreed with you on all of that, but I feel like throughout the episode they were like uh, they were getting like their suits and whatnot. Then I was just confused on what they were doing most of the time because they just went to Brainwave's hospital and then son was there saying "I love you, Dad" and whatever, and then I was just confused what their goal was there. So
Well, I think we have the feeling that like the principal for like their high school. I feel like she showed up with the violin, but she did never really like registered in to as a visitor. So that has me thinking
yeah,
that she might be part of the New Injustice Society. Uh,
yeah,
I know there's a lot of mystery around the show, and I do like it a lot, especially in the very last
I do
scene where
too.
like we were in that dump for the
Yeah,
waste dump. We got like
yeah,
we saw the truck and like the wizard had and whatnot
yeah,
like that. I like the mystery. I like the suspense. I do. That's the one thing I actually really like about
yeah,
the older CWDC shows is that there's lots of mystery behind it, and I do like
yeah,
the mystery surrounding this show as well. One thing like I know. Okay, going back to pacing, I did like the first half of the episode in terms of pacing, but the second half I don't know because it's like by the end of the episode, Yolanda becomes Wildcat, but like I feel like it should have
yeah.
been at least 2 episodes before she fully accepts the role. Because
Okay, and yeah,
next episode they're gonna be finding the rest of the JSA, like they're gonna be like recruiting more JSA members.
yeah.
So like
Okay,
I feel like they could have been fleshed out a bit more, you know?
okay. So they were like Stargirl and what's her face were climbing up the wall, and like Stargirl said her name, and then this girl in the parking lot like have super hearing. Can I just say that right now? She was in the parking
Well, I
lot and
mean,
they're halfway up the building.
she said that pretty loud. She said her name pretty
Oh, okay.
loud.
I guess
Yeah.
it is true, but they were like halfway up the building. Just saying. But
Well,
but
I do like the bonding type of moment. I like how like it's kind of like giving off the message that like you can always find ways to escape from the harsh reality, even though life could be really hard, but like I like the theme surrounding Yolanda and I guess the mantle of Wildcat. I
yeah,
like I like that. It's kind of it, it kind of fits for what's happening right now. A lot of people are including myself, are just trying to find a way to escape reality.
yeah,
With all the mess that's going on in the world right now, I feel like it's
yeah,
nice just to ease our minds and to go off into some fictional land or whatever. And I do. I that's actually what I got from the I guess like the theme of this episode, and I found it to be great. The
yeah,
problem is, it's just like for next week, they're gonna be like I think recruiting 2 new members too. So it's like one of them we
yeah,
don't really know much about. The other one who's gonna become I think Doctor Midnight. That's like the girl that saw the one that she has been like hanging out with Courtney and whatnot. I forgot her
yeah,
name. But like yeah, we know a little bit about her, but not too much to the fact that we should like root for her to become a superhero. Same with the guy who's going to become Our Man. Apparently, there's going to be. I think his name's Rick Tyler. We
mhm.
don't really know much about him. I think he's going to be introduced in the next episode. So I have the feeling that pacing is going to be quite a bit of an issue for next week. But I don't know. We'll just have
Yeah.
to wait and see. Hopefully, they don't rush it. Maybe like one of them becomes a superhero. The other one's kind of like, oh, I'm not ready yet, and like maybe it takes them like
Yeah,
2
that's
or
what I
3
was thinking.
episodes.
I would like if like some of them are like, "Yeah, we're not ready yet," and then maybe a couple episodes down they come back and actually join or something like that. I think I would
Yeah.
enjoy that a lot.
Also, I don't know if this is just dawned on me, but isn't like stepfather? Shouldn't he be kind of like taking it more like
Seriously?
watchful eye on Courtney? Because like
Yeah, that's also a thing.
she just stole all the valuable stuff in the Justice Society Hall.
Yeah, and let's just be honest. The real crime is they broke a toaster. We just get that out of the
Oh
way.
yeah,
They
what about
broke a
that? Like
toaster.
they never really elaborated more on that. Like, I thought that like the stepfather's gonna find out and he's just gonna be like, hey, Corny, so did you happen to just steal all of the valuable equipment from
Yeah,
the JSA? So it's like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
That's
expecting something
also
like
true.
that because it's like, well, this is a glaring issue. I mean, I guess it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna come back next week or 2 weeks from now or something like
Yeah,
that. So like I don't know, like I'm just kind
I
of
think
worried
it.
about how they're handling the pacing. Like I said, I do like the pacing the first half of the episode, but like second half and then moving forward, I'm kind of curious and kind of worried now.
Yeah, like I just gotta say, like I agree with you on that point. Like he's supposed to be a father, and he tells her no, and she's just doing whatever the heck she wants. So I think he needs to take more he needs to keep an eye on Courtney more thing because she is a teenager. Teenagers do dumb things and not so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing for right now. I think if Courtney gets really hurt or something like that, I feel like then she'll kind of understand more. But
I
I
mean, I feel like
doubt
the
that will
the
gonna
the
happen.
the whole accident that happened last week kind of for me, I thought it was gonna like kind of shake her up a bit, but I guess not. Like she kind of just
Yeah,
going off like, oh, let me recruit more members, and all that stuff. When like literally a
yeah,
kid died like last week because of like
yeah.
you know
Because well, it wasn't really her, but it was kind of her at the same time.
yeah, because they got him involved in it. Well, I mean, then again,
Yeah,
it was with the wizard's son, so like
yeah, that's also true.
yeah, but I don't know, like. But yeah, this episode was all right. I mean, it wasn't too
Yeah,
fancy and all that, but like, I
yeah.
just
I
wish that
think it's
like,
the worst episode so far, but they
yeah.
occasionally have those. So
Mhm. Now, speaking of worst and best, we're gonna be moving into our ranking for Legends of Tomorrow. So, how this works is that I guess we'll start off at number five. We'll say what's our worst season, and we'll just elaborate as to why, or we'll just discuss the season in general. And yep. So, Brendan, you want to take it away first, since I know you've been working really hard on your list.
yes, I have been, bro. To be honest, I thought this would be easy ranking these, but it isn't. It really isn't. It's tough. My number five. I was actually shocked when I put this here. I have season one as the worst season of
Oh,
Legends.
and
Yeah.
why that?
Well, one of the main reasons, they first all got together and whatnot because of what's his name, Rick Hunter. He's the main person that
Yeah,
got
Rick
them all
Hunter. Yeah.
together. It has its episodes where it was when they went to the future with Oliver and everyone's dead and he's the only one alive and whatnot. That there's some couple good episodes, but there's just I feel like when I watched a couple episodes of it, at the beginning, is just Rick Hunter in general is one of the main reasons this one thing is so low for me. It's the timeline was not really that messed up, to be honest, and then they had to go do stuff to prevent stuff from happening, and then he's the main reason it went all hangwire because he got the legends in, and then everything just went off the wire. This
Well, he still lost his family. He still lost his family in the future.
that is also true, but
I think like because because the whole point of first scene was stopping Vandal Savage because he at that point like when he killed his family like at that point he like just like ruled the entire world. I think like the whole point was just to stop him through because he was like an immortal, so like stop him
yeah,
throughout history and then eventually like like he would just like
yeah,
cease to exist and and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's
that's
kind of like
also true.
Savitar in a way.
Yeah, it's in a way, but it go against his word of not trying to change anything. This whole season for me, is just not that memorable for me. It was actually tough putting season one at the beginning, but like, it's just I don't really know, bro. It was just not that enjoyable of a season for me after watching it back. But
Interesting. Yeah. Well, for me, okay. So my number five, it's definitely not season one. It actually instead season four. So
uh-huh.
season four was really the first season when Legends really started changing, like not really the format, but I guess like the tone of the show. Because for the first three seasons, it was mostly serious. The second half
Hmm.
of season three, it's kind of where they kind of like turn into more like a comedy show in a way, like they
Yeah,
wouldn't take itself seriously. Like they were self aware and all that. But season
yeah,
four was I don't know, like it was very experimental. Like I think it's one of the reasons why season five is good because it experimented a lot.
yeah,
It had a lot of musical numbers, which I just don't think fit the show at all. A lot of people actually found the
yeah. I agree.
numbers to be really obnoxious and annoying, me included. I like the season five finale, or sorry, season four finale was honestly one of the worst out of the
Hmm.
entire series.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
especially the villain too. The villain wasn't that interesting as well. Like he wasn't compelling, and you don't need to have a compelling villain, but at least make him somewhat interesting and somewhat of a
Yeah.
threat. And to be honest, he wasn't really much of a threat. Like even compared to this season's villains, which were the Fates sisters and whatnot, they were actually a threat. They killed Beyrod. They killed well no, they scarred Sarah. They made her blind, although she did get powers from that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just that like Neuron. I think that's the demon, or it was like some deer. I think his name was Neuron or whatnot. I think that's his name, or
Yeah.
that could be for season three. Anyways, yeah, I mean, like the villain for season four was so forgettable. I mean, like there was really nothing special about it.
Yeah, I
It
get
wasn't
that.
compelling and it wasn't interesting. It wasn't big of a threat.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh well, because like the villain, when you look at the CWDC shows, the villains play a huge part because they're the main bad guys for the entire season for like 13 to 20 episodes. So you have to make them really good. And when the Arrowverse first started, yeah, we had some good villains, but now I just feel like the quality of supervillains now in the DC shows or CWDC shows at least haven't been that great. But
Yeah.
yeah, and season four is definitely a clear culprit of that. And
Mm.
again, like I said, there's just a lot of problems. There's a lot. They introduce a lot of characters, not a lot, but they introduce characters which are just very unlikable. Like you had Charlie, which
Mm.
I mean, I never really liked her character to begin with, and like even in season five, she still wasn't that interesting. Although they had her play a huge part because she was part of the Fate sisters, but like in season four, she did like little to nothing, right?
Yeah.
And um, and then you had Mona and Gary. Now look, I I hate those characters as much as the next person does, right?
Mm.
But I just don't think they should be shelved off. Like, which is one of the problems I have with season five, and I'll get to that when I get to season five. But like, oh, like they were really annoying characters. Like they're like
Yeah.
I think I already said this before, and I also said this on the Galactic Arrowverse Hub Instagram. Like they're like just as hated as Rose Tico from Star Wars, but they get the same
Mm.
type of treatment, which I just don't think is fair. But then again, that's season five's problem. Season four introduced those characters, and they never really have them do interesting. I think they're just there just for comedic value. I mean, Gary at least is. He's
Yeah.
kind of like scared, like the scared dude. Actually, no, Gary was introduced in season three. Season four is when he got more screen time, but like he got his like nipple bit off, and like in very late in the season, like I think close to the end of the season, he became like kind of like this. He kind of like took over the the time bureau, and like he had everyone say like, oh, like everyone loves Gary Green or something like that. I don't know. It was really stupid.
Yeah.
And then Mona's character, okay, she was introduced in season four, and I like hate her character so much. No, I don't think. No, does the actress deserve to get all the hate? No, of course not. It's not her fault. Although I mean,
Yeah.
partially her fault, but it's not completely her fault. But like,
Yeah.
I just thought of the one episode. Like, you remember the one episode in season four where they went on that road trip and like Mona turned into a werewolf and like killed, not
Oh,
killed,
yeah,
but like,
yeah,
yeah, that was probably by far one of the worst episodes. And like
yeah.
another one was when she was like she made friends with like one of the demon creatures, and then like she was just like, no, I'll protect you and like all that stuff like that. Like I don't know, like that also the episode where like they also went wrestling too, and Mona was like, "Hey, yeah, you should be a wrestler," to like her demon creature friend. That
Yeah.
was also another one of the worst episodes. Actually, as a matter of fact, Paigey, who's a very popular Arrowverse YouTuber, as well. Well, he also has an Instagram account, but he's more of a YouTuber. He even
Mm.
stated that was like by far the worst episode in all the Arrowverse, and I completely
Wow.
agree with him on that. Like I don't know, it was horrible. Like her character,
Yeah.
like her character does not like just doesn't add any value to the team or just to the plot at all. It just like, she's like one of those characters that's on like like she's one of the quote unquote heroes, right? But she
Yeah.
progressively makes situations even worse just for I don't know, laughter and whatnot. But she's just super annoying. It's, again, like I said, she's kind of like Rose Tico, where
Yeah.
like they had no value other than like just messing up whatever the main protagonists are trying to do. I don't consider her a main protagonist because she kind of ruined a lot of things in season four, and she's one of the big reasons why that season's like, which is terrible. Again, there's more reasons
Yeah.
to it as well. The plot wasn't that convincing. Very unnecessary musical numbers,
Yeah.
like that again. Like I said, it was just really like season four was just an obnoxious season, And like,
Yeah.
there's literally nothing good that come out of the season other than maybe Nora Dark's character because she kind of progressed as a character in season 4. Like we saw her kind of like
Yeah.
kind of have like this like redemption arc, but like that fully gets closed in season 5. You know, I guess season 4 was kind of like the big leap forward where she's like, "Hey guys, I'm not evil anymore." But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really the only good part from that season. And I guess maybe John Constantine being like a
Yeah.
season
That's what
regular,
I was
but
about to
like
bring up actually.
yeah, but like other than that, there's very little. Like again, like I said, I'm struggling to find the name of the demon, the main villain, which is like that demon villain. Again, like
Yeah.
I think his name was Neron or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it's
I
near
thought that was
yeah,
like
I
season
just looked it up,
three.
it's Neron.
Yeah, so like it's just a forgettable season. It's forgettable.
Yeah.
It's so obnoxious as well that like I don't know. It's weird to have a forgettable season, but at the same time have it very memorable for all the wrong reasons. But it's not even that good
Yeah.
memorable. It's like a stain in the Arrowverse. Like honestly, I consider season 4 of Legends. Now I don't know if you'll agree with me with this, but I consider this to be one of the worst seasons in all the Arrowverse, and actually
Mm,
equal to Arrow season 4. Like that's how bad I think the season
mm.
is. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's for
Okay.
sure my number 5. You know, so
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll continue on. I actually have season 4 at number 4. One of the main reasons I have it a little bit higher is because of, like you said about Constantine. He was like, when he came in, I thought he was super cool, and I get it. This season it really stink, but like I didn't mind this season, but season 1 for me was just not the greatest for me. A lot of people might disagree with me on that, but that's their opinion, of course. Like, and I don't remember. So this season 4 was Constantine was introduced, correct?
season
Season 4,
3.
season
He was
3, he was
introduced in
introduced.
Legends. He appeared in Arrow, I think season 4, season 3, somewhere around there. Yeah, season no, yeah, he came back. He first appeared in the Arrowverse in season 4, even though like he had his own show, but that got canceled.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
in like the Arrowverse shows, I mean, the Constantine's technically the Arrowverse show, but like in terms of like the main CWDC shows, he first appeared at I believe Arrow season 4. I think that's when they
yeah,
resurrect Sarah. That was the first time
yeah,
he appeared, and then he
yeah,
appeared in like I believe it was the episode. It was I think it was like the one episode right after the Crisis on Earth X crossover where he first appeared. He's like, "Hey, I kind of need your help, Sarah." You know, and they go to that I think like that hospital, I think, and trying to save. They were dealing with the young Nora Dark and whatnot. You know, I think that was like his first episode or second episode on Legends, and then season 4 he was a season regular, and same with season 5.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it was this season or next season, so I'll just wait until I get to the season I think it's at. But yeah, I get all your points that it was one of the worst um seasons for the Arrowverse in general, but I had it a little bit higher than season 1. I don't know. I just enjoyed season 4 a little bit more than I did season 1, but like I said, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Moving on to season 4, number 4 for Legends, I'd have. See, I'm kind of torn between season 5 and season 3, and the reason why is because I actually like
Hmm.
both of those seasons. But
Okay.
like, I guess season 3 is more memorable, so I guess I'll put it higher, and I'll just put season 5 here. Although
Okay.
this isn't bad at all. I think I think this is very unfair because like obviously my number 5 would be season 4, and you know obviously like if season 5 is above season 4, then it's like slightly better. But honestly, here's the thing: season 5 of Legends of Tomorrow is infinitely better than what season 4 could ever be. Like it is like because like season 5 of Legends, it's kind of like when the developers or when like the writers or like the production team, whatever, when they actually listen to the fans because they actually learned their mistakes from season 4 and like because they actually used the comedy in a great way. I legit laughed at some of the jokes in season 5. Like I remember
Yeah.
like the wedding episode where like Nora and Ray got married. Like that, not
Hmm.
only was that a good episode, in my opinion, that was one of the best episodes this season. But not only that,
Yeah.
I actually laughed at some of the jokes there. And same with the Shakespeare episode. I think that yeah, the Shakespeare episode was the last episode. It was the episode where Ray left the show,
Hmm.
and I again, like I said, I genuinely laughed at some of the jokes there, and it wasn't just those 2 episodes; it was throughout the entire season. Like I legit laughed, and there's really only like 2 musical numbers in this entire season. Those musical numbers
Yeah.
were like they weren't even that bad anyways. They're actually like they're actually like okay, like they're tolerable. They're not
Yeah.
obnoxious like last season's or sorry, in season 4. So like
Yeah.
just because I put season 5 as my number 4, that doesn't mean that's slightly better than season 4. It's infinitely better than season 4. Like honestly, like for me, season 4 of Legends, it's the Shadow Realm, and then like everything else is like we're on surface level here. Like we're getting to the real stuff, right? So
Yeah.
season 5 of Legends, overall, it was really good. It was good. I'm not gonna say it's like amazing, like or like groundbreaking or anything like that, but I did like
Yeah.
the villains. There were stakes, like Behrad
Yeah.
gets killed, like all that stuff. Like even bringing back the old Zari, that was great. Like again, like I said, stakes were increased, and I did like that because I just felt that the stakes, like especially in season 4, the stakes weren't that high. Like if Neron
Yeah.
win, then I guess okay, I guess Hell would have like resurfaced to Earth, but like like he wasn't really big of a threat anyways. Like I don't know, I just wasn't convinced by him. But season 5, I
Yeah.
thought like the narratives were great. I did like Astra's like redemption story and whatnot.
Mhm.
It was funny, but at the same time, because like she basically becomes a member of the Legends like during like that
Yeah.
sorority episode, like that call it at university episode where like they had like the sorority houses and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was okay. That was, I mean, sure, it was cringy, but like there were some funny moments, and overall I did like Astra's like you know redemption arc. I thought that was good.
Yeah. It was really good.
Again, like I said, the narratives were actually great. Um, the villain were actually pretty good. Although I didn't really like season 5's finale. I didn't like how they
Yeah.
quote unquote defeated the villain. They just had a pep talk and that's it. The world saved. That's kind of so it's very anticlimactic and very underwhelming. I think I mentioned that. What was it
Yeah.
last week or something like that? When we were
Yeah.
discussing our review for the season
Bro,
5
there's
finale.
aliens.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. I'm actually really excited for next season. But
Yeah.
yes, this is infinitely better than season 4. So just because I put it above, just one spot above that season, doesn't mean that it's like slightly better. Like it's infinitely better. So yeah, it's all right to say about my number 4 spot, which is season 5 of Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah. For what I have number 3, I actually have season 5. I think season 5 is like in the middle of the pack season. Like I have it right now. It's like directly in the middle for me. I really enjoy. I think I said I didn't. I had points where I didn't enjoy the season, and other points that I did enjoy the season. So yeah, like I pretty much agree with everything Billy said. Like I like that they brought Zari back for a couple episodes, but she had to go back into the tomb or whatever, so the other one could survive. Like just I just really enjoyed the season. Like you said, the villains for me were really, really cool. Like you said, they had stakes involved. Like Sarah getting blinded, like maybe for the rest of her
Yeah,
life, even though that was a disappointing thing at the end. But still, yeah, I think season 5 is a middle of the road season. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. It's like directly where I think it should be.
yeah. It's for
Oh
yeah, like I said, it's just infinitely better than season 4 because like for me,
yeah,
season 4, I don't know, it was just a huge mess. But like season 5, they took the bad parts. It's like season 5 is like they took the bad parts out of season 4 and then like actually introduced like some things that actually worked well with the show. Like
yeah,
they actually made the jokes better and whatnot. Like it just like overall it was just an enjoyable ride.
yeah, exactly. I like the jokes in there were funny. Like everything in there I enjoyed. So I don't
Yeah,
really like even the when they were on TV, which I didn't think I thought was weird, but I kind of enjoyed it at some points. So yeah, so
yeah.
it was.
It was
I think it was a decent season.
I know like the show is self-aware. Like the show for sure is self-aware. And like so it's just like, oh, okay, balls to the walls. Let's just like do whatever. Like like they weren't afraid to take risks. Now I understand they did the same with season 4, but with season 5 it's like they took risks, but at the same time they also were self-aware. They knew what worked and what didn't work with last season. So,
Yeah,
what made the season great, is that they learned from their mistakes. And that's honestly the biggest praise I can give from the season. Obviously there's still problems with the season. Obviously,
Yeah.
Sarah losing her Sarah losing her powers at the end, like it was very short lived.
Yeah.
With her
Yeah. That was
powers and
very.
whatnot.
Yeah, that was very disappointing for me.
Yeah,
But
but other than that, like that's really the biggest downfall for this season. Like and the
yeah.
finale. That's it.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah. So moving on to my number 3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
would be at 3.
Yeah, sorry. Ranting and raving about the past 2 seasons kind of made me lose track. Anyways,
Yeah.
season 3 would be my number 3. There wasn't too much to it. I mean, I guess we got introduced to Zari, which I mean, the old Zari was a pretty cool character.
Yeah.
Um, again, like I said, it was. I mean, it's nothing too special. The villain was all right. And the finale though was really memorable because we had the huge people. I legit laughed. Like that was like really okay. The season 3 finale was really the first time
Yeah.
actually started like laughing at Legends jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like this season was more. I'd say it's both more on the darker tone side. Although it's not as darker tone as the previous two, or as the first two. Sorry, but
Mm.
so yeah, it's just like the season 3, like we had Martin Stein, he got killed off in the crossover, and then they had
Yeah.
they had the team kind of dealing with that. They brought in the Leonard Snart from Earth X or Leo Snart from Earth
Mm.
X, and you kind of have them cope with the team and whatnot. It's kind of sad that he not part of the show. I mean, it would have been cool to see Leo Snart from Earth X to be part of Legends, but I understand that like he has to live a life with Ray. Yeah, with the Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his name. So that's
Yeah.
good. That's fine. But like other than that, yeah, it like obviously we got introduced to Nora, we got introduced to Gary as
Yep.
well. Like we were also introduced to the Time Bureau. Now the Time Bureau I just found really annoying.
Hmm.
Like I
Okay.
don't know, like sure, like they were like kind of like they kind of served as like the anti-heroes for the Legends, like and like they get in,
Yeah.
they always like butt heads with the Legends crew and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
but another thing I found really odd was how the relationship between Ava and Sarah started because they would like fight each
Yeah.
other a lot at the start of like the first couple episodes, and eventually like they'd grow like a relationship, which I still to this day don't understand how that relationship grew to begin with, and whatnot. So
Mm.
I don't know, like I feel like it was kind of rushed in some ways because I don't know, like it was there wasn't really any explanation to it as well. It's just like they fought each other for a bit, and then I guess like they grew to love each other, which I don't really
Yeah.
understand that at all. Like they did like whole secret Skype like conversations when no one else was around
Yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah, I don't understand. But we actually got to see a little bit of Kid Flash as well with Wally
Yes.
West. Yeah. I, Here's the thing. There was a part of me that wanted him to be part of that to stay for season 4 and like
I
onward.
agree with you.
But there was also a part of me that didn't want him to stay because I just don't think his character would fit. Because like this Wally West Arrowverse, he's let's just say a more serious Wally West. I mean, I guess the Wally West character is pretty serious, but like he's too serious
Yeah.
for Legends. Like how you have some serious characters like Mick, although he does bring some
Yeah.
comedic value, but like he's serious. Like his seriousness is comedic. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Wally West's seriousness isn't really comedic at all. It kind of it better fits on the Flash show than it does
Mhm.
with Legends. So like again, like I said, there was a part of me that wanted him to be like to stay on the team, but like I understand like obviously since the actor Kean Lonsdale, well, he's always busy. He rarely even shows up for any Arrowverse shows now. So, um,
Yeah.
but like for me, there's just a part of me that wanted him to stay and a part of me that didn't. But
Yeah. I get that.
it was cool to see him, and it was also really cool. Like I actually kind of like the tone pole part. I thought that was that was really cool with the whole the the totem bearers and whatnot. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I did like, although they were MacGuffins, I will agree that like they're definitely MacGuffins, and it's like, oh well, I mean, we haven't seen this type of trope used in a million times, but like it was really interesting. I also got to see how Ray and Nora became friends and eventually would like marry each other once whatnot. I did like the dynamic between those
Yeah.
two, which is really interesting because like in real life, both Courtney Ford and Brandon Routh are married to each other. So that's really interesting. I did like the and
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
think
I
so
did
too.
really like the
Okay.
kind of like the
I'm sorry,
dynamic
continue.
between those two characters. I thought it worked really well. You know, and villain. I don't know. Actually, just one more thing. Also, we got Damon Dark's character as well. I don't know. His character just seems weird. I don't know. Like I just never. I can never like his character. Like the only time I actually really liked his character was in season 5 of Legends
Yeah,
when he showed up in the one
yeah.
wedding episode. But like
So
that's it.
what I have for number
That's really
2 is
about it.
actually
Yeah.
season 3. Um, season 3 for me is when Sarah got like the team back together. When pretty much they got told is like, yeah, you guys keep flipping up history, so you guys should just go work as normal human beings. And they did, and then Sarah's like, nah, I don't feel like it, and then they go and mess up like the whole timeline and whatnot. But the reason I like this episode so much is because it has a lot of memorable characters for me. Because, like you said, Wally West is another guy which I really wanted him to stay on Legends. I get the point that he was kind of more serious, but I didn't feel like he can become comedic at some points in time. So yeah, this season for me was really good.
Actually, thinking about it now, that one episode where he was hanging out with Rip, that was really funny. Where they got drunk
Yeah,
and
it was
whatnot.
really fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a funny episode. I did like that.
yeah, and like, and I think this season was there a main villain or were they just fighting magical
It
demons?
was I think it was like some demon. I forgot the name. Like I think again, like these villain Legends villains aren't really that memorable except for like the first 2 seasons, but like and I guess
Yeah,
this season as well, season 5. But like other than
yeah,
that, like I don't know, like Legends villains are pretty forgettable. Like again, like I
yeah,
said, I forgot what the main villain for the season was.
yeah. Fair enough. And I think the Time Bureau is really cool. It was really cool. That's one of the main reasons season 3 is up there for me because we learned a little bit more about them, and then pretty much I don't remember if they got destroyed or not. Don't remember if that
No,
happened in
yeah, I
season
think they
3.
are like base. I think they are like destroyed at this point, like in Legends, because it's like all their base of operations are kind of been like ruined. Like there's not really like I know. I think the government, like I think like government funding is just like stopped. Like they I think they had enough with like their shenanigans and whatnot. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think like
yeah,
Legends or not the I think yeah, the Legends are basically taking the Time Bureau's place.
yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed the season because they were like running away from like those guys and like Sarah getting interested with that other girl as well, and then coming a relationship sort of thing. I really enjoyed that too. So yeah, I think season 3 is the second best season in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. I don't remember there being like one episode I didn't really enjoy in season 3. So yeah, so I think that whole season was really good on my part. But you know,
All right. Um, moving on to number 2. Yeah.
yeah, for
Are
you.
we? Yeah, number 2. For me, I'd have season 1. Now, I know you don't like season 1, but for me, I actually kind of liked it because it really did remind me of like a Doctor Who show. Now, I don't really watch
Yeah,
Doctor Who, but I've watched a couple of scenes, and it really did remind me of that. It was like a so simple. It was all about time travel, right? It was like a very sci-fi esque show where they travel throughout time. It was just really interesting. I did like the world building was great. Well, at this point in the Arrowverse, we're kind of already established with like I guess the universe and whatnot. Um, in season 1, for me, I did like how it incorporated many elements from both the Flash and Arrow, and because like
yeah,
you had many different characters who came from those 2 shows. Actually, that's how the show started. It's like you had characters coming from those because those were the 2 main shows back then, and you
yeah,
had those characters like they all all met up, like even though like it's really interesting because you got Sarah, who she brings more of the she was back then she was more of the darker tone characters because like again like I said she was from Arrow, but then you have like the lighthearted characters like the Martin Stein and Jax and whatnot,
yeah,
Firestorm and all that, like both Mick and Leonard Snart. They'll be
yeah.
you had a wide variety of characters, and I found it to be really interesting. I kind of saw it as Guardians of the Galaxy, but for the Arrowverse,
Yeah,
and
I get
I'm
that.
pretty sure a lot of people can agree with me on that. They're a bunch of out like misfits, as they say in their intro. They're like outcasts and misfits, and whatnot. They're not heroes, and I do like the idea of that. I don't want to see another like like straight up heroes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it was a really interesting idea, especially since season one of Legends, well, just the Legends of Tomorrow show in general, actually is an original idea. It never really came from the comics. Like we never really had a Legends of Tomorrow comic.
Yeah.
So like it was a really good idea. Although some of the narratives were really whack. Like I think of the whole Vandal Savage and Kendra Hall, I think that's her name is, or like the Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really weird because apparently like they were both immortals. Like every time they die, they'd still have faint memories of their past life or something like that. I
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really odd, but like I did enjoy Vandal Savage's character. I did like actually I preferred him over the Legion of Doom, which I'll get into later. But yeah, that I for me, I just think that the story was okay. The story was like it was better
Yeah.
than honestly all the other stories or all,
Mhm.
sorry, all the others like plots were like for each season. But other than
Yeah.
that, yeah, just have it at number two. It's great, but it's not like super amazing. It wasn't groundbreaking at all. I mean, I guess it was
Yeah.
groundbreaking. It was the first season, but I did enjoy it a lot. It was a fun ride. Um, it was like a really cool experiment. Just to put like
Yeah, I
just
get why
to
you
put
put
it,
it number two, but for me, it was just like it's the beginning of the show that like it was like all the characters that like from different places that they didn't really care about at the time thrown together. So yeah, season one was okay, but for me, it wasn't the best. It was one of the worst seasons, but that's my opinion, as I said again. So
yeah,
okay, so for my number one, I have season two. Season two for me was really enjoyable. The villains, the Legion of Doom, is one of my favorite villain trios, probably in the Arrowverse, because I don't remember there ever being more
you
than
mean like villain groups?
like villain groups sort of thing. Like I like all their characters in general. I like Damien Dark a lot. I think he's a super cool character. So yeah, and for season two, there is so much like stakes involved. Like if like like they change like when Rory changed sides. I don't remember if that was a different season, but I'm pretty sure it's season two.
Yeah, it was
And
season two.
yeah, that's what I assume. So and then like he changed future, and then they're all like being mind controlled, and Rory like during is like, oh yeah, this is boring. I want to like flame up cops or whatever, and then brings them all back, and then Sarah slaps them. So it was one of those seasons where there was a lot in stake, and at the end they did technically win, but the villains were winning half the time. Like the villains in there were super cool, and they had their comedic moments as well. Like I don't remember a season where I didn't enjoy it. So I remember an episode that I didn't enjoy. Like all this, oh, season two was my favorite season of Legends, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon if they keep
Yeah,
going like this. So unless season six they come out with a banger, which I doubt they will, but yeah, for me, season two is the best season. Season two is a banger. Everything in there I enjoyed. So
yeah. I also have my number one being season two, but not for the right reasons. Well, not for the reasons that you have it. The reason why I actually have it because I actually like the story, but the story I think is the best, and the reason why I put it
yeah,
here. But not just that, the world building was off like insane. We got introduced to the Justice Society of America.
yeah,
It actually tied in with the other shows as well, like as we brought in the Reverse Flash. Now I'm going to discuss the Legion of Doom because I have a lot to say about them. But yeah,
mhm,
it did tie in with a lot of the other shows. I mean, obviously, we got Malcolm Merlin and Damien Dark, which tied in with Arrow. Especially since Malcolm Merlin, he talks to Sarah. I remember the one conversation they had where they talked about how he rigged the gambit to blow up, and at that time, Sarah didn't know that. I mean, Oliver knew that by then. I think he found that out like really late in season one, but
mhm.
yeah, Sarah didn't know about that for a very long time, so it creates more tension between those two characters and whatnot. And like I do agree with yeah, the stakes were increased. I think the stakes were the best in this season. because like it actually like it actually brought suspense, and it's like, oh, I actually really want the heroes to beat the villains, you know. And I did like
Yeah.
the season finale. The season finale is really good. It also introduced the Black
Mhm.
Flash as well. The Black Flash I
Yeah.
thought was one of the cool, like, because I thought that when Hunter Zolman turned into the Black Flash at the end of season 2 of the Flash,
Mhm.
I just thought that, like, okay, well, that's it for his character. But no, I was surprised that they brought him back for Legends, which is
Yeah.
really interesting, you know. Now, as much as I like season 2 and all that stuff, I have some major issues with it. Actually, so much so that for me, season 1 and season 2 are tied because they just some things are better than the other.
Mm.
One thing I really didn't like about season 2, and this is going to surprise a lot of people, are actually the Legion of Doom. I really didn't like them because they all felt like they were downgraded versions of their character. Like, you look at Malcolm Merlin's character. I can understand that by that time, like by that point in the Arrowverse, like he'd been betrayed by basically everyone: Malcolm Merlin, Oliver Queen, all that stuff. And like actually, when they found him and recruited him to the Legion of Doom, he was just like, at that point he was just like, okay, I'd join anything really. I wouldn't say no, and you know, that type of stuff and whatnot. But like for Malcolm Merlin to be used as a pawn, we did kind of see that in Arrow season 4, but it didn't work out. You know, like
Yeah.
him being Damien Dark's pawn wasn't really that great. It honestly made his character feel very downgraded because it's like he had like this very magnificent type of motive. Not magnificent, but he had a very good motive in season 1 of Arrow, and he had a
Yeah.
very compelling story, like very compelling character. Like everything behind his character was good. He, like, you know, he was a he was basically a family man. You know, the reason why he wanted to blow up the Glades was because of what happened to his wife. Which which it widowed him, and also like left his son also, you know, without a mother, you know, and whatnot. And like, you know, again, like I said, his villain motive was really compelling. I did like his character in Arrow season 1, but like when you look at his character in other seasons, it just seems like he's going downhill from there. Like season 2, he kind of shows up as like a ghost. Like in season 2 Arrow, sorry, he's like a ghost type of figure. Like, hey, I'm here, but I'm like gonna haunt you and stuff like that. In season 3, he gets he gets his daughter to kill Sarah, which was really
Yeah.
interesting. They handled that very poorly. Season 4, he wanted to be Ra's al Ghul, but then he gets betrayed and then like joins Damon Dark, but then like he loses and then he's just like a complete wreck. And then
Yeah.
now with Legend season 2, there wasn't really anything good about his character. Again, like I said, I just don't see him being a pawn for like as like I don't know. He's one of those types of characters where you just can't have him be a henchman or a big bad, right? He's one of
Yeah.
those types of characters where they're better off being on their own. Like imagine if Slade Wilson became a pawn or a henchman. Sure,
Yeah.
he worked alongside Oliver Queen, but that doesn't
Mm.
mean that he was like, you know, like one below him. Like he still had his own ways and whatnot, right? And that was
Yeah.
fleshed out in Arrow season 6. But like with Legend season 2, Malcolm Merlin really feels like he's just a blind henchman, really. I mean, sure, he questions
Yeah.
Deadpont's like motives and like, hey, is this like even like, are you even like knowing, even know what you're doing and whatnot? But it's like, I don't know. He seems like your typical thug, honestly, in Legend season
Yeah.
2. And Damien Dark's character the same. I don't know, like. I just like he's kind of very static character up until Legend season 5, where he's like, oh well, maybe like my ways aren't that great and all that, but like I don't know, he's very set in his ways. Which I mean, I guess that's a huge flaw of his character, but like it's too big of a flaw because it's been going on for like how many years now? He was first
Mhm.
introduced in Arrow season 4, and then like you know,
Yeah.
his character arc finally comes to an end in season 5 of Legends. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, but like I don't know. I just found his character annoying. Leonard Snart joining Legion of Doom, it kind of ruined his whole redemption arc that first started in the Flash season 2 or 3 or whatever, and then like he ended
To
like
be fair, this was the Leonard Snart that turned good. This was the Leonard Snart when he was still evil.
yeah.
I
True.
can't really
Yeah.
blame him for that.
Yeah. I know. I understand that, but I just don't like they closed his character in season one by having him make the big sacrifice and whatnot. But like to have like the pat like the I know like they basically pulled him out of the timeline where but back when he was still evil. But
Yeah,
I don't know. It again, like I said, it just kind of ruins. I mean, sure, they return the timeline. They return the timeline to what it was before, but
yeah,
I just I like I just don't. It just doesn't feel right, you know. Like Lennon Star just
you
doesn't
get
feel
that.
right. And then moving on to Eobard Thawne. Now, I understand that he was being chased by the Black Flash, and that's actually the one thing he fears the most of,
Yeah,
and losing constantly to the Flash. But like getting chased by the Black Flash, who's basically the Grim Reaper of the Speed Force. Yeah, I understand why he's very scared and very irrational, but like Eobard Thawne's character in season two was the biggest issue for me because he seems like a massive downgrade from what he was in like when we first saw him in season one of The Flash. Obviously, like they were played by different actors because uh, um well, obviously we know that Tom Cavanagh or who plays Harrison Wells. I mean, well, Harrison Wells.
yeah,
I guess the real one died because Eobard Thawne took his identity, took his face, and all that stuff, and
mhm,
whatnot. Which was played like the real Eobard Thawne's played by Matt Lesher. I think that's pronounced his last name. And we did first see him in season one of The Flash.
yeah,
And his grand scheme to return back home to his timeline. But even then, like even when we saw that Reverse Flash, like the Matt Lesher Reverse Flash, when we
yeah,
saw him in season one and season two, he still felt very in character, because it's like, well, yeah, he's just there just to plan his escape. You know, he could care very little about what happens to the people around him and whatnot. I understand that, but like moving into Legend season two, he's just like he's very like he has a very short temper, and that's not the Reverse Flash. He'd lash out like the Reverse Flash in season two of Legends. He'd just lash out on everyone. He yells a lot. He's very angry, very I don't know, dumb. He wasn't really thinking
yeah,
straight. And again, like I said, it's a massive downgrade because the Reverse Flash has a plan. Like usually he has a plan, and if that plan fails, well, I mean, all he can do now is just like you know, not rage, but like he'll just like go to the next best thing. The Reverse
yeah,
Flash in season two, I don't know. He just didn't seem like he knew what he was doing. He like even like Malcolm Merlin's like, "Hey, do you know what you're doing, bro?" and like whatnot. I like I don't know. Like when you compare the performances between Matt Lesher and Tom Cavanagh as Eobard
yeah,
Thawne, Tom Cavanagh's Eobard Thawne is very established because it's like okay, so he's very manipulative. He's very slow to anger. He's a very patient villain, and he
yeah,
also is he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Meanwhile, the Matt Lesher Eobard Thawne, well, he knew what he was doing at first, but like as the season progressed, he's just like started losing his mind. And again, like I said, I understand that he's being chased by the Black Flash, but um, I don't know. It just doesn't feel
yeah,
the same. Like it's not the
yeah,
same Eobard Thawne. This is one of the reasons why I don't like recasting characters. Now I understand that he wasn't really being recasted; he was just reprising his role because he had two faces playing the same character. But it's like,
yeah,
how come? Okay, how come in season one of the Flash, in season five of the Flash, when Tom Cavanagh played Eobard Thawne, it felt very in character. Like he was very patient. He had a very clear plan. Like again, like I said, he wasn't like, oh, I'm going to like lash out and destroy the entire city and whatnot. But like with season two of Legends, and even like the Crisis on Earth X Reverse Flash, which is still played by Tom Cavanagh, and even the Reverse Flash in season six of the Flash, it's like he's very like impatient. He doesn't know what he's doing. He rushes head on into problems and whatnot. He's not really thinking straight. He yells a lot.
yeah,
And like I said, very short temper, and like
yeah,
that's not the Reverse Flash that we were introduced to. No, I understand. Again, like I said, I understand that he had two different faces playing the same character because like identity crisis and whatnot. But like when you establish a character in the first season that they appear in, you kind of expect that character to either stay the same or progress. even if it's a villain. Now, like I get the fact that villains are supposed to regress because we don't want them to win, but like
Hmm.
if a villain appears more than once after they get defeated, you think that they learn from their lessons and like try to be more like plan out more, try to be more cautious and whatnot. But like the Eobard in season two of Legends, he's just like, I'm gonna change history. I'm gonna I'm gonna like vibrate my hand right through your heart and whatnot, and like try like I don't know all this like crazy
Yeah.
stuff, wacky and all that. Like he really was just out of character for me throughout the entire season.
But like to be fair, like you said, the Black Flash is like the most he's terrified of. So maybe he has a more shorter temper to get stuff done quicker because he has to run away from that thing.
Yeah, I understand that. Like even the episode where they focused on the Legion of Doom, like, I think it was like a couple episodes. Like the couple episodes that they focus on the villains, I understand that. Like I get that. Like there's nothing we can do about that. But at the same time, he still would have some sort of plan, other than just like, oh, I'm gonna get angry, then I'm gonna run away, and then I'm gonna get angry again, run away, angry, like all that stuff. Like it just doesn't really feel in character. Like, like I really don't know. Like I just don't know. Like I feel like you'd have to compare the performances between both Matt Lesher and Tom
Yeah.
Cavanagh to really understand what I'm trying to get at. Is that's like it's not like again, like I said, compare season three Reverse Flash to season one and even season five of Reverse Flash. Or yeah, that the character in the two seasons that I'm talking about at the Flash were really good, but the Reverse Flash in Legends was just I don't know. He was such a massive downgrade.
I get that, but the other two weren't getting chased by the Black Flash as well. One of them in season 5, like you said,
Yeah,
was technically dead, and the first season he was just trying to kill Barry or whatever.
yeah.
So it's one of those
Also,
things where I disagree with what you're saying. I think he played a good job of what he was supposed to do. Like if you get what I'm saying, but
yeah, yeah,
I get where you're coming from as well, though.
yeah. And just another thing is that like I just don't see Eobarthon having a gang or like people like minions that do his bidding. Like
Mhm.
even with partners, like I just don't see him working with partners. Sure, he did that in season one of the Flash, but like he kind of manipulated him. He
Yeah.
manipulated that one guy who like can shapeshift and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I understand that because he's a very manipulative character, but I just don't see him actually having like a group of people to like work with. Another reason why I didn't really like Reverse Flash in Crisis on Earth X was because he was a team player,
Mm.
and I just don't. He's not usually not that type of team player character. He's more of like a work alone type of person.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah, but at that time, yeah, I get that. But would
Yeah,
would it be cool if it was just a reverse flash though? It'd be as
I
cool.
don't know. I mean, honestly, kind of yeah. We kind of would have because like we would have more focus. It would have been easier to focus on the villains too. I mean, sure, you could have him and then have him like because they do bring back Rip Hunter, but they turn him evil. They could do that where what they could do is that like yeah, Reverse Flash, he comes back, he wants to change reality and all that stuff, but he manipulates people instead of just partnering up with them because that's not really his character. Again, like I said, he doesn't partner with people. He usually does it really just to manipulate everyone else. Like honestly, like when he teamed up with the Earth X Nazis, I didn't expect him to like actually stick by their word and whatnot. I expected him to eventually just run away because that's not really in his best interest to work with those types of people, and which is what exactly what happened at the end of the crossover. He's just like, screw this, the battle's over. I'm just gonna run away because there's no chance of me trying to help the Earth Xers and whatnot, so but like
Yeah.
yeah, for me he was just very out of character in season two, and that bothered me because I really liked his character in season one. And even in season five of Flash, even though I don't want him to appear in any more seasons, even though I feel like he's going to have to next season of or season seven of Flash, so yeah, other than that, I just didn't really like the Legion of Doom. Again, like I said, I did like the story of season two. I think it's the best. I really like the world building. We got introduced to the Justice Society, even though most of them get killed off. So they're
Yeah.
very underutilized, but like I understand that they're not the whole point of the show. So you know,
Yeah.
yeah. But other than that, like again, for me, Season 1 and season 2 are tied. I'd like season 1's villains better because like Vandal Savage I found to be really interesting.
Yeah.
But like and I preferred him over Legion of Doom. But at the same time, I preferred the story of season 2 over season
Oh
1.
yeah.
I did
Yeah,
like the
I
world
agree.
building season 2 more than season 1, even though season 1's world building wasn't bad at all. But like it's it's a whole that's a whole another discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, is that it for our ranking? There's no other seasons, I imagine.
Yeah, there's no other seasons.
Yeah, well, thank you all for stopping by, everyone. This will be is this our fifth podcast now?
Yeah,
Sixth?
yeah, fifth podcast. Fifth
Yeah,
podcast,
somewhere
I
around
believe.
there. Stay tuned for next week. We'll again discuss Stargirl again, but we'll also be ranking Supergirl. So that'll be really interesting. I know Brendan liked Supergirl a lot. He has
Yep,
let's just say a
yep,
thing for Supergirl.
yep.
So
All the seasons are good, Marley, and if you say one's bad, I'm gonna be in
well,
trouble.
I mean, we'll get to that next week. Yeah. So stay tuned next week for our podcast. We'll be discussing again, like I said, Stargirl, and be ranking all 5 seasons of Supergirl, and that's gonna be really interesting. I feel like I've honestly just a prediction right now. I really don't think that we're gonna have the same list.
Nope,
I feel like we're gonna
we
be
are not.
arguing a lot. For
Yep,
me, I already have my seasons ranked. And I feel like you're gonna
mhm,
like really disagree with me on them, but yeah,
yep,
I just can't wait for what we're gonna do next week. Anyways,
yep.
thank you all for stopping by. Make sure to check out our Instagram account, which would be Galactic Arrowverse Hub. Again, like I said, I'll put the link to that in the description down below, and see you guys next time.
And I hope you guys have a good day.